The world of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report, you know what I'm saying? ODB status, what we do the white hood. You know what I'm saying? But still gotta let y'all know what's happening. We can't shine all the time. You feel me? And I'm gonna Scruff McGruff, but so will you most likely. Now, but keep this in mind though, we gotta keep light heart or whatever, because we got some despair around us. You're talking about 40,000 people have so far died in the United States, and it's been attributed to COVID-19, coronavirus disease 2019, SARS-CoV-2, that Rona. You know what I mean? Now, that's also over $750 billion, like over 750,000 people infected in the U.S. With COVID-19, and globally 165,000 deceased, and 2.4 million actually, but obviously these numbers are believed to be a lot higher, and not properly reported due to like lack of testing and other factors as well. In the U.S. though, 7,000 of these fatalities actually happen in nursing homes and wellness centers, especially like for like old vets and all of that, where you have and then tens of thousands of people getting infected in total. Like even at the Cobble Hill Health Center in Brooklyn or whatever, 55 people died at just that one spot. So shit is tense. You know what I mean? Everybody stay woke. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I don't know, get you a mask if you need one. You know what I'm saying? Like if you feel that type of way or whatever. Like, but really, everybody just need to be able to stay safe. You know what I mean? And keep your immune system at operating at 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? Don't scare yourself into just thinking you're just gonna get sick and die and all of that just because these things are happening. While it's a real thing, stay focused, take care of your body. Green War and Graduation. The new world though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. You know what I'm saying? Scruff McGruff, hair wilding, you feel me? I mean, these the times we in, so you know why might as well match the climate, you dig? Black Fox News paraphernalia on. You can get it in different colors, shapes, and sizes at blackfoxnews.com/shop. Here's something for you to raise the consciousness and awareness of yourself and those around you. Now check this out, because it serves as a constant reminder. You know what I mean? I don't just do it by itself, you feel me? But I do put the juice into the logo, you dig? Now check this out though. As far as Trump, I mean, he's kind of like talking at these conferences or whatever, these daily briefings, some bullshit. But and this past one, he was actually like suggesting, the one yesterday, that they actually have that the testing should be on the local governments, and to basically, or it should be up to them to open up their states, and they should have, you know, testing is a local thing, kind of putting the responsibility on the governors when you have governors out here that are begging for testing. You know what I'm saying? They, like, you know what I mean, in New York, for example, with Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York City. But now you have in Texas though, you have other governors that are like willingly reopening their states. Like in Texas, they're opening state parks, and later this week they're gonna open for retailers for delivery not Texas, but in Florida, they're opening their beaches. So you know, there's a lot of that back and forth going on between the president and the governors. At the same time, the Times of Israel actually broke this report that showed that U.S. intelligence actually informed NATO and Israel of the risk of the coronavirus pandemic as early as November. So this again makes it look bad. Like, wow, the Trump administration did not do what they were supposed to do to protect us and have us properly prepared for these pandemics in certain hotspots of the country. So, you know, there you have it. Green War and Graduation. Out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So make sure you sign that petition, get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can find the change.org link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube. That's all where it's available right now. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is why I had that petition put in place. That's been going on for like a year now. Not too many signatures, but it's like, yo, man, look where we are, where Trump is actually on Twitter this past Friday putting like online calls for people to liberate, in quotes and in capital letters, liberate Minnesota, Michigan, and Virginia, like states where protesters have been going against their Democratic governor's orders and trying to like go against their like stay at home, quarantine, remain in place orders, essentially. And they've been happening all throughout the country, like bodies like, you know, some bodies like right-wing Trump supporters in gun rights groups and all of that, whatever, where it's like you know, you found them in Texas, Indiana, Maryland, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Washington, you know, and in these places like in Olympia, Washington, for example, they actually had 2,500 people going against the ban on public gatherings. There were hundreds of people in Denver, Colorado at the state capitol. Similar to, like, you know, well, think about what happened in Lansing, Michigan last week, where you actually had armed people from the Michigan conservative coalition, whatever, that were actually out there. And you know, it turns out that they were actually supported by Michigan Freedom Fund, whose founder, Greg McNeely, is actually linked to the family of Betsy DeVos, who's actually the Secretary of Education in the U.S. Now, also in Minnesota, you actually had his name is Ben Dorr. He's like him and his two brothers. They actually started the Minnesota Gun Rights Group. They've been known for calling out the NRA for being too like soft on, you know, defending gun rights, and even put out like these Facebook groups, some with names like Wisconsinites Against Excessive Quarantining or whatever. Like, so this is a gun rights activist group that's actually going hard and orchestrating these protests. So people are really trying to resist this shit. It seems like they're giving power trying to give more power to like Trump and the federal government, though, doesn't it? Doesn't that go against the whole Republican ideology of, like, you know, being self-sufficient, not dependent on federal government? I'm confused, you know what I'm saying? One of y'all MAGA Trump dick-looking motherfuckers, help me out. Green War graduate of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the congressional Democrats and the Trump administration, they're actually saying they may come to an agreement today on another $370 billion small business bailout, if you want to call it that. $370 billion towards basically small businesses being allowed to, like, you know, borrow these loans that they are, it's said that they're not going to have to pay back, but, you know, I don't know the motherfuckers, you dig what I'm saying? But nevertheless, they putting that out there for businesses that have been hit hard by this economic crash resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the deals, though, as so far, do include $100 billion that'll go towards hospitals, but nothing towards like, not much going towards, like, you know, things for testing or hazard pay for frontline workers or anything like that. Nevertheless, though, you have the $350 billion from the initial Paycheck Protection Program, the small business loan version of this, from the $2.2 trillion economic relief package. It's been spent up. People were saying that, you know, with a lot of businesses saying they didn't get shit. You know what I'm saying? Now you have but at the same time, you have these larger businesses. Potbelly Sandwich Shops got $10 million in the loan. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, 20 M's. You know what I'm saying? Like, these other places, 10 M's, but it's like, you know, you had a Shake Shack that actually gave their $10 million back. So, you know, who's really fucking getting this money? And observers are saying, like, this way that this money is being spent, that from that 2.2 trillion, is being spent with very limited oversight, since there's no inspector general. They have yet to fill a post, and the panels that have been assigned to actually oversee this shit are vastly understaffed. Massively understaffed, you get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this all looking like some sketchy shit. See how this if this more money, this $370 billion actually gets passed, and, you know, I guess if you need it, you could apply for it. But this seems like it's inflating the dollar like shit, don't it? Green War graduation. Report out of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over near San Diego at the Otay Mesa Detention Center, this is an immigrant jail that actually has the largest outbreak of COVID-19 out of all the immigrant jails in the United States or whatever. So you have the immigrants that are in the jail actually going on hunger strike, feeling like they're not being properly protected from this pandemic, and, you know, they're trapped there to just get caught up and possibly even die. You either have women in there. Now, there's a group of women that apparently reportedly have been pepper sprayed, or getting pepper sprayed down by the guards, that are trying to force them to sign this contract put out there by Core Civic, where in exchange for face masks to protect themselves, they basically sign this waiver and, you know, relieve Core Civic, the private company that owns jails like Otay Mesa Detention Center or whatever, and amongst a bunch of others. You know what I mean? And this is where you get money off prison. These companies like this are doing that. Nevertheless, they are set up to, you know, they'll be relieved of any liability if they do get COVID-19. So in exchange for the face mask, you're relieving Core Civic of any liability, even if they haven't been protecting you up to this point. So, you know, there's a lot of outcry about that. Apparently, they're charging they're charging the people for the t-shirts that they're supposed to be using for the mask. So, there's an uproar over there. Green War graduation. The World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So, you know, you see me on my ODB shit, man. Long hair don't care. Medium hair, medium care. I don't know. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, we all scruffy out here, you dig? But it's really, you pay attention to what I'm saying. Now, as far as this COVID-19, well, first off, make sure that you sign my petition. Get Donald Trump off Twitter. You can actually find the change.org link in the video description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Or you can go straight to change.org, look up Get Donald Trump on Twitter. And it lays out exactly why he should be removed. So don't at me until you read that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all factual information why he must go, including violating Twitter policy. Now, back to the news. The Heartland Alliance in Chicago. This is a center that actually holds migrants who've been like caught at the U.S.-Mexico border or whatever. So they're up there in Chicago. There were dozens of people outside protesting because this place houses like 70 children who've been taken from the U.S.-Mexico border, but like 37 people have been found to have COVID-19 last week. So there's like believed to be a crazy outbreak there. You have even images showing out in the internet of like kids holding signs up to the window saying help. What kind of fuck shit is that? Green War and graduation, you guys get your shit together. The New World of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So there's a lot of protesting and calls being put out there for the release of prisoners all around the country in order to like contain or mitigate the spread of coronavirus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, that Rona. And make sure you check out BFN World Broadcast number 17, aka that Rona. You can find a link to this club song, this informative club song at the Black Fox News Instagram page. But moving right along, even Florida, you actually had a man that locked himself to 2 concrete barrels right outside of the governor's mansion, the mansion of Ron DeSantis or whatever, like basically trying to call out him not releasing prisoners amid this pandemic. You have over in Ohio, 2,400 people at the Marion Correctional Institution actually have tested positive for COVID-19. Even in other places, at the Oswego prison in upstate New York, you actually had 21 people, like prisoners and staff, that actually tested positive for COVID-19, but it's not considered a hotspot. But Michael Cohen, you know, the former personal attorney for Donald Trump and the fixer, the dude that set up that whole transaction with Stormy Daniels and all of that, or whatever, like, and ended up going to prison for 3 years or whatever. He's actually been released and allowed to serve the remainder of his 3-year sentence on house arrest. Green War and graduation. The New World of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Europe, it's still jumping for this coronavirus, but they're actually seeing signs of progress, especially in those countries like Spain, Italy, France, that had actually large death tolls and infection rates. Right now in Italy, they've seen their lowest daily death toll in a week, and you know, they're considering whether they're gonna actually like reopen the economy or like issue another like stay-at-home order or lockdown once the current one expires, which is soon. But they actually have 23,000 deaths total, second globally only to the United States, where I told y'all already is over 40K. But in Spain and France has saw basically about like 400 deaths on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, with Spain at 410 specifically, them seeing like they're, you know what I mean, that's a crazy drop for them. And then over in Germany, they're actually considering they're going to reopen some small businesses today, actually. In Britain, Boris Johnson, the British Prime Minister, he's still recovering from COVID-19, but there's a report put out by the Sunday Times that showed that he actually skipped some meetings that was early on in February about COVID-19 and the outbreak, and him and his family were promoting like the whole herd immunity thing, and they just kind of had a lax approach to it. And now the motherfucker was in ICU just trying to handle this shit. So, you know what I mean, that's what's going down. Green War and graduation. The World of the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. Had to bring it indoors, you know, still on my ODB shit. But nevertheless though, over in Greece, there's actually on the Chios Island, there was a refugee camp that actually caught fire, destroying hundreds of shelters for hundreds of people. This is a place that actually holds like 5,000 refugees, even though it's really only meant to hold 1,000. So there's already a fear of like COVID-19 spread in that refugee camp as well as others in Greece. But at this particular one, the fire came after a protest of an Iraqi asylum seeker who actually died, and people suspected it was from COVID-19, even though officials say that the person tested negative for COVID-19. Moving on though, in Israel, there were actually protesters protesting 2 meters apart at Tel Aviv, basically going against Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister's response to COVID-19 and the pandemic. Their response including tracking cell phones. People were warning that he shouldn't, the Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz actually shouldn't form a power sharing government with Benjamin Netanyahu, who is currently under indictment for 3 corruption charges. Green Wall graduation. Hold on to the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. You know what I'm saying? On my ODB shit, wild head don't care. Ooh, baby, I like it raw, you dig? But let me give y'all this raw data, though. The World Health Organization is actually warning that COVID-19 could actually hit up the African continent and cause 10 million severe cases in these upcoming months. In a worst case scenario prediction, they're saying 3.3 million Africans could actually die from the disease, from the COVID-19, and 1.2 billion Africans could actually be infected with coronavirus disease 2019 or SARS-CoV-2 or that Rona, whatever you prefer to call it. This is because across the 41 countries in Africa, there are less than 2,000 ventilators, and 10 countries with no ventilators at all. Now, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the director of the World Health Organization, actually said that you know, in the past week they saw a 51% increase in coronavirus cases and a 60% increase in deaths to the coronavirus disease 2019. So, you know what I mean? Everybody keep you know, stay focused on Africa, man. And if you are in Africa, keep all of this in mind. This is a place with a lot of land and a lot of people. You know, way more land than people, though. It's definitely crowded in some areas, definitely in the port cities or whatever. But you know, hopefully they, that you know, the people in the motherland can navigate through that. Green Wall graduate. The world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Afghanistan, you have 40 employees at the presidential palace actually test positive for COVID-19, forcing President Ashraf Ghani. Not Abdullah, but Ashraf Ghani, the former and current president, apparently, because there was a little dispute about him and Abdullah and what the votes they had on such a poor turnout due to their national election. Nevertheless, Ashraf Ghani actually went into self-isolation. It's not certain whether he has COVID-19 or not. Nevertheless, this brings Afghanistan to about 1,000 known COVID-19 infections and about 30 deaths due to COVID-19. But they've only tested about 7,000 individuals. And you're talking about a place where some analysts are saying like their death toll could end up being 110,000, which would be more than the 18-year war that the U.S. has been engaged in over there. In Latin America, you actually have in Brazil 38,000 COVID-19 cases, 2,400 deaths. And you know, the highest in Latin America, where second is Peru with 15,000 COVID-19 cases. Green Wall graduation. Out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Mumbai, India, they're actually going to start administering tests and trials for hydroxychloroquine, which is an anti-malarial drug, as a COVID-19 treatment. And they're going to start testing on thousands of residents. Now this is the same drug that Trump was like pumping up, saying that it could help with COVID-19, even though hasn't been tested yet. He really ain't got, being the highest position in the land, ain't got no business really saying it how he's been saying it. Nevertheless, over in Mumbai, though, people in fear that like it's getting tested on the poorest residents. I mean, they're gonna start administering tests in Dharavi, one of Asia's largest slums, and in Worli, which is actually the Mumbai neighborhood that was hardest hit by it. But keep in mind that in Mumbai, you have 200 healthcare workers that have actually contracted COVID-19, while countrywide in India, 16,000 infections and 500 deaths. Green Wall graduation. Out of the world, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. Make sure you support the movement, man. BFN Shop. Go to blackfoxnews.com/shop. You'll find a link in the video description if you're watching this on YouTube, or just go, you know, type the URL in. You know what I mean? Don't be lazy. You feel me? Like, support the movement, and we're gonna keep supporting y'all. Now, over in Bangladesh, there were actually over 100,000 people that defied lockdown orders and attended the funeral of this politician / Islamic preacher. So there's new fears of like a surge of coronavirus disease cases. A place that already has really only has like, you know, 2,000 confirmed cases and 90 deaths, but people feel like it could be 2,500 confirmed cases and 90 deaths. But you know, people feel like it could be much higher. And over in South Korea, actually, they actually reached on yesterday, their smallest new coronavirus disease case day in a while, with only just 8 new cases. But they have seen an increase in people coming back, relapsing. Green War and graduation. For the New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So in Canada, they actually had their worst mass shooting ever in history, where a gunman, 51-year-old Gabriel Wortman, actually dressed up as a police officer, dressed up his car as to look like a squad car, and went around the province of Nova Scotia over the course of 12 hours and murdered 16 people, and then ends up getting murdered. His motive right now is not clear. Green War and graduation. So the New World, though, the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So the Trump administration is actually rolling back emission rules for coal and gas-fired power plants that basically allow them to have a little more mercury as well as other pollutants, emitted out into the atmosphere. Now, this is dangerous. The new rule actually changes how the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, they actually do their cost-benefit analysis, basically increasing the or decreasing the health benefits of like curbing pollution, and then increasing the economic costs of curbing pollution. Now, so it's keep in mind, mercury is toxic. Like, it causes birth defects and things of that nature. We're finding it in a lot of baby food already or whatever. So that could be devastating. Also, the Columbia University Earth Institute actually put out a study in the journal Science that shows that greenhouse gas emissions are contributing to one of the worst droughts in basically like in the southwest of the North America, where the west coast of US and northern Mexico could actually see a drought that hasn't been seen in over 1,000 years. Green War and graduation.